Body language, societal views, and development of eye contact. Hi, my name is Taylor. Talking to you now, what is the first thing you noticed that was different from the previous scene? Is it that I changed my t-shirt, or was it that I put on the sunglasses? If you said it was the sunglasses, that's because subconsciously, people first tend to focus on changes in facial features and expressions, and notice them before they notice other changes in the body. Not only do humans communicate, but there are a variety of different methods and tools that different cultures use to send and receive messages. No matter what town, city, or country we were born in, the need for communication between members of your society is a basic requirement for survival. The variation of methods used in different cultures shape the way those individuals communicate with each other. Methods of communication include words, either spoken or signed, gestures, and/or other forms of body language. As a child, you evolve from nonverbal communication to basic words and hand gestures. Over time, the formation of verbal language and body language are learned and begin to operate in the mind unconsciously because they are involved in daily living practices of social structures. However, not all societies have a set standard of socially acceptable body language. Body language includes my eye movement, my posture, my walking style, and other ways of standing and sitting. One of the important areas of body language includes eye contact, which is a non-verbal form of communication. Body language plays an essential role in human communication. Just like verbal language, body language follows patterns and rules. Depending on the religious and social differences between cultures, the meaning of eye contact can be changed completely. By understanding the day-to-day practices of body language, you'll be able to know what is acceptable and what could be considered a serious offense. Now let's look at the different boundaries of eye contact and how it changes between cultures. Direct eye contact is considered rude. Keeping eye contact with an elderly individual can be assumed as aggressive behavior. To avoid any unwanted desires, eye contact between members of the opposite sex is avoided. People often lower their gaze after initial eye contact. Not accustomed to eye contact with strangers. I wanted to examine eye contact in Edmonton. When I would be walking to and from school, it appeared that the majority of people were consistently walking with their heads tilted down, off to the side, and they were focused on the ground in front of them. After consecutive encounters of people walking with their heads down, I started to ask myself, why might this be? My understanding of locking eye contact with a complete stranger and maintaining it for a few seconds is that they are confident and bold. Not only did we acknowledge each other's presence, but we created a form of nonverbal communication between one another. Let's look at 3 different scenarios. Scenario 1 will show what an individual will tend to do when they're walking down a hallway alone. Scenario 2 will show the same individual walking down the hallway, but will make eye contact with a complete stranger. Scenario 3 will show the individual walking down the hallway, but will refrain from making eye contact with the stranger. I wanted to capture some footage of people not making eye contact, so I went on the LRT train station in Edmonton and noticed how no one is making eye contact. They all look to be strangers, and everyone is keeping to themselves. Some people find eye contact more difficult than others. Let's look at some examples of why some people choose not to make eye contact.
I feel like I'm under pressure when people are staring at me. I'm much more comfortable just knowing they are listening than knowing they are watching my every action. I don't like being in awkward situations, And to me, looking away feels more natural. I can relate to people better when I hear them rather than looking at them directly. I'm uncomfortable with the way I look, and by looking away, I feel like they aren't looking at my face. I just don't like people staring at me.
I've used my personal knowledge to be able to understand the difficulties in making eye contact with a complete stranger. In society, when did each individual learn the behavior of proper eye contact? When people stare at you, it often leads to discomfort, anger, or anxiety. People have strong reactions to eye contact violations, even after repeated confrontations of similar circumstances that they go through on a daily basis. You cannot go a day without having someone look or stare at you for either a second or for an extended period of time. In Edmonton, it seems as though people still haven't been able to adapt to extend their use of eye contact, and they will continue to avoid eye contact with strangers.
Just a few things I see when my eyes close, and I can